Hello everybody. Today we're going to read a Caillou story. Happy Thanksgiving. Caillou is excited. Today is Thanksgiving. The whole family is going to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Caillou's cousins, Emilio and Amanda, will be there too, and they are lots of fun to play with. Caillou is not exactly sure what Thanksgiving means, but he knows he will eat his favourite meal, turkey and mashed potatoes. Yum, yum. In the car, Caillou asks, "Mummy, what's Thanksgiving?" Thanksgiving is a very special day. We celebrate it once a year to say thank you for all the good things in our lives, Mummy explains. Caillou thinks about this. What kinds of things, he asks. It could be anything important, Daddy says, like being thankful for our great family and our good health. Caillou wonders about what is important in his life. Teddy and his toys are important. Mummy and Daddy are important. So is Rosie, even if she sometimes does things he doesn't want her to do. Grandpa opens the door. "Happy Thanksgiving," he says, bending down to hug Caillou and Rosie. Uncle Felix is already there. "Hi, Caillou. Hi, Rosie," he says, smiling at them. Caillou runs into the living room and looks around. There's nobody there. Caillou is very disappointed. He looks up at Uncle Felix and asks sadly, "Didn't Emilio and Amanda come too?" Caillou hears a little noise and he turns around. Amanda and Emilio jump out from their hiding places. "Surprise!" they shout. Caillou squeals with laughter. He is very happy to see his cousins. "Hi, Caillou," Amanda exclaims. "Do you want to play hide and seek?" "Yes," Caillou says as he jumps for joy. Later, everyone gathers around the table to eat. Grandpa asks them all what they're thankful for today. "Cousins to play with," Caillou replies excitedly when it's his turn. "Let's have dinner," says Grandma, "and happy Thanksgiving, everyone." "Happy Thanksgiving," they all answer as they fill their plates. Caillou thinks to himself, "Yum, yum, finally, turkey and mashed potatoes." Thanks so much for listening to the story today. We hope you enjoyed it. So you don't miss any more fantastic stories, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Hello everybody. Today we're going to read a story from the Caillou Storybook Treasury. There are lots of stories to choose from. Today we're going to read a story called My Daycare Friends. My Daycare Friends. It was Caillou's first day at daycare, and he was a little nervous. "I don't want to go, Mummy. I want to stay with you," he said. "So do I, Caillou, but I have to go to work," Mummy reminded Caillou. "And daycare can be fun. Can you hear that noise?" Laughter coming from inside piqued Caillou's curiosity, so he and Mummy went to check it out. Caillou looked around the room. There were other children and lots of toys all over the place. "Hello, I'm Anne Martin, the teacher." "And you must be Caillou," said a lady with funky overalls. From his position behind his mummy, Caillou nodded. He was nervous and shy. "OK, Caillou, I have to go now," Mummy said. "No, don't go. I don't want you to go," Caillou cried. Mummy hugged Caillou and kissed his cheeks. "I'll be back. Don't be sad." Anne asked, "Do you want to meet the other children?" Caillou shook his head. He looked around and saw some blocks. He walked over and started to play with them. "Hey, those are my blocks," a sturdy red-haired boy yelled, snatching away the blocks. "I'm Clementine," a little girl said. "What's your name?" Caillou." "That's Leo. He doesn't like to share," Clementine told Caillou. "Do you want to play? I'm doing cutouts." Clementine snipped out something with her scissors. "Do you like daycare?" Clementine asked. "I like staying at my grandma's better," Caillou replied. "That's where you stay when your mum and dad are busy?" "She's an artist and I get to play with paints and brushes and paper and stuff," Caillou said. Clementine suddenly ran off. Clementine came back with her arms full of paper, paints and crayons. "We have all that stuff here," she said. "Oh boy," Caillou exclaimed. "I'm going to paint a robin." "I'll make cutouts of what robins eat," Clementine decided. "Worms." Caillou and Clementine went to work on their projects. Leo came over to see what was going on. "That's a robin," he said, looking at Caillou's painting. "Could you show me how to paint like that?" "Sure, Leo, if you show us how to build a castle," Clementine said. Leo walked away. Leo came back, pushing a pile of blocks. "A castle has to have lots of towers," Leo said. "A worm has to have lots of twists," Clementine said, snipping out another worm. "And a robin has to have lots of red," Caillou informed his friends. Then the three of them were on the floor building a castle together. "Here, you can make the flag for the castle," Caillou said, handing Leo some paper and the scissors. "We need to make this tower higher." Caillou's mummy and daddy arrived at daycare. "Caillou," Mummy called out. He was having so much fun playing that he didn't hear her. Then he saw them and said happily, "I'm making a castle with my friends." Thanks so much for listening to the story today. We hope you enjoyed it. So you don't miss any more fantastic stories, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Hello everybody. Today we're going to read a story about Caillou from this storybook treasury. There are lots of stories to choose one. Let's have a look inside and see which one we're going to choose. I think let's read about the school bus. The school bus. There it is, a big yellow bus ready to take everybody to school. Every morning, Caillou watched for the big yellow school bus that drove down his street. He saw lots of children waiting for the bus. The bus stopped outside Caillou's house. Caillou saw his friend Sarah get on the bus. There she is, with her red rucksack. She said hi to the driver. The driver looked like a nice man. How Caillou wanted to ride the school bus. Caillou asked Daddy, "When can I go on the school bus?" "Let's see," said Daddy, looking at the calendar. "One more birthday and then you'll be old enough." That was such a long time. "I want to go on the school bus now," exclaimed Caillou. "We can look at the bus even if you don't ride it yet," said Daddy. "Let's go see." Next morning, Caillou and Daddy waited for the school bus. The driver opened the door. "Good morning, young man," he said to Caillou. There's the driver, and the bus has stopped right outside Caillou's house, so he can see it as it goes past. The driver's name was Mr. Washington. There he is. "This is Caillou," Daddy told him. "Next year he'll be old enough for school." "But I want to ride now," said Caillou. "Maybe you can have a practice ride tomorrow," said Mr. Washington. "I'll ask my boss if it's all right." All day, Caillou wondered if he would get his ride on the school bus. He really, really hoped the answer was yes. Caillou drew a picture. "That's me, driving the school bus," he explained. There's his mummy and Daddy, and there's another picture of the big yellow bus. In the morning, Caillou and Daddy met Sarah waiting for the bus. Here she is. She was surprised. "Are you going on the school bus, Caillou?" The bus drove up and Mr. Washington opened the door. "Come along, young man," he said. "We don't want to be late." Caillou climbed onto the bus. Caillou sat right behind Mr. Washington. He gave him the drawing that he had made. There it is. "Now, isn't that fine?" said Mr. Washington. "I'll just tape it here on the dashboard so everyone can see it." Riding the big yellow school bus was lots of fun. Stop, start, stop, start. The bus picked up more and more children. Mr. Washington drove them all to school. At the school, the children got off, all except Caillou. "Time to head home," said Mr. Washington. Caillou didn't want the ride on the school bus to end. He was having too much fun. But when he saw Daddy waiting for him, Caillou was glad to be home. There we can see Caillou's house, just around the corner, and there's his picture. Mr. Washington's kept it on his dashboard. "Did you see me, Daddy?" Daddy helped Caillou down and hugged him. "I sure did," said Daddy. "Did you remember to thank the driver?" Caillou waved to the bus as it pulled away. "Thanks for the ride, Mr. Washington," he called. "See you next year." And that's all for today.